So today we're going to take a look at how the Guard managed to beat C9, and we're going to take a look at Haven, which was C9's map pick, and this fairy tale story of the Guard, continues on, because I'm sure most of you hadn't even heard of the Guard before this VCT kind of group stage and playoffs and whatnot. But here they are, actually going to Iceland, which is insane. And the first thing we need to talk about, though, is the team comps, because both teams are running the same team comp, aside from Saya on the Guard is playing Jett, and Leaf on C9 is playing Raze. Now, Leaf hadn't played much Raze up until this point, and this is a weird choice for me, because I would probably argue that Haven is actually Jett's best map, and I'll explain why as we watch this round. But yeah, pretty weird. I think I know why they did, and I'll talk about that later, but it's still not an ideal pick, and I think it did ended up costing them, particularly because Leaf hasn't played that much Raze. He did in this series, but in some other series, when they were playing Raze, actually wasn't even Leaf playing it, and he would go into the chamber. So bit of a weird choice, but let's watch this first round and I'll explain it in more detail. So we have this setup, and what the Guard have done is they've sent an Omen Smoke here. They sent a Breach Stun out as well early in the round, and that's been able, as you can see, to get Saya into this spot here. Now, this is why we're seeing a lot more Breach than Sova on this map as well, is basically just trying to control this little area of the map, because if the attackers aren't past this area of the map, they cannot go to A site, and if they can't go to A site, well, then you can get a defensive setup that looks like this, where anywhere that they go is going to be pretty favorable, because you can be there pretty quick with a lot of players. So that's why this A main control is just so important, because if they can't go to A, you've got a pretty good chance of the defenders of knowing where they're going to be and being able to stop them. So that's kind of the general setup there that the Guard have managed to get. And as we run this round forward, and it's going to be a C execute coming in here from C9, we're going to see the problem with Raze, and I'm going to explain it to you. So we get all the paint shells, the flashes, the Omen Flash, the Raze nade, it all comes in, right? And it's a good start to the execute. But here we go. We got this slow from the chamber, which has gone down, which is obviously going to slow anyone helping to support Leaf there. And that's pretty normal. That's something that you might expect to happen. But Leaf is already up in this position. Now, the problem is Leaf is going to die here to net pushing out of this smoke. And the thing is, the way I like to see Haven sites is that they're split kind of into two, right? With this box being kind of a dividing line. And the thing is, when you see a Jett player come in and execute onto a site, you'll often get like a smoke here, right? They'll dash into it, a flash will come on this box, be it from a breach or a sky, either can really do it, or even a KO, and then the Jett will peek out this way and be able to kill the flash players on this side of the box, and then the rest of the team can wrap in and deal with anyone on the front side. And the thing is, this smoke is very important, because a Jett with a smoke here protects them from anyone on this front side, because if that person starts shooting at them, then the rest of the team knows exactly where they are. They can just come in and trade them very quickly, even if the Jett does die, and most likely they won't be able to kill them through the smoke. So it'll go very, very well if they do shoot at you, and if they don't shoot at you, then the players on the backside have a real problem, because they're probably about to be flashed and killed by the Jett. The difference with Raze is, of course, you don't have that smoke. So Leaf here has no protection for when Net comes running out. And because this is slowed as well, there's no trade available either. But either way, Leaf was going to die, because Net was going to come out here, and there's nothing to protect him from anyone in this spot. Leaf could have, Net could have been in this corner over here, and he would have got this free kill as well, right? So that's the difference, really, is because you don't have that smoke, it means that you can die to anyone on this front side as well. And that is a massive, massive difference. And it caused so many problems, I think, for C9 in terms of their executes, because Leaf would die to, if anyone was willing to come out onto the front of this site. And that's just a bit of the difference. And you're about to see Leaf die to Net here. As you can see, there it goes. Leaf died to Net, sorry. Leaf dies to Net there, and then Trent flashes around the corner, he gets one, and they end up in this situation where, it's a 4v3, and things aren't going well. And now that Mitch has died as well, Saya's able to do this really cool thing where he's going to wrap around all the way in spawn and be able to get one kill. We could probably go forward a couple seconds. Here we go. So he's going to be able to get one there. He actually dies on the second one, but Net is able to replace himself into a really nice little weird position and get the other two. And there we go. Very nice round from the Guard overall. But yeah, that's kind of the difference between a Jett on this map and a Raze on this map, and some of the difficulties that you might have with a Raze. And now let's come to round number 9. And one thing that the Guard consistently did was set up these weird trap plays. Look at where these players are, right? So they started with 3 on A, and the breaches beginning to rotate after they realize that, you know, there's no one there. And again, we get this omen smoke. But then they've got the 2 chamber traps here, one on C, one on B. But then the other 2 players as well have set up another little trap here in garage. So absolutely insane. And what's going to happen is the trap is going to work, because as we run this forward, we're going to get this Skydog into garage, and obviously it is going to spot net here, and they have worse guns here, C9, but obviously they're all screaming now. As you can see, their whole team is pretty much here, 4 of the 5. They're obviously going to be screaming, you know, oh, he's on the left, he's on the left, go and kill him, he's on this left hand side. So what's going to happen is net is going to, you know, just fire a couple bullets but then teleport away. But in the meantime, Valen has just stayed silent there, and then eventually he's going to peek out and manage to get 2 kills. Now he is about to be traded out, but then we're going to get something pretty interesting as well going on. So they're going to give up C site, right? This is one of the things that the guard kind of have to be comfortable doing, because they set up all these trap plays, but that means that you're not going to be, you know, everywhere at once. You know, you're not going to have full control of the map. So you have to be content with playing some retakes, and they're going to be content with playing this retake here. So the spike gets planted and they send out the Seekers, as you can see, which in this scenario is like prime time for the Seekers, because there's only 3 players left, and it's going to tell them all where they are. Whilst this is going on, we need to keep a note. Mitch here is on top of the box. He's used his chamber TP to get on top of this box, and this Skydog, I think, is going to spot him, and I think that that explains how Mitch dies. If that is the case, Mitch probably needs to get off this box, if I'm being honest, because you're about to see that Trent on the sky here is just going to shoot through this smoke and be able to kill him. Obviously, they know where Vanity is here, which is a big problem for him as well, because the Seekers have found him. So he's just sitting outside there, which is obviously a problem. There goes the kill from Trent on Mitch. As I said, he died on top of that box. Not ideal. And as we move this forward, what we're going to get now is they hear Vanity running up B here. And so the reaction from the guard I really, really like, because they know they still have this chamber trap here. So they know that his run up B isn't actually going to be that successful. So what they're going to decide to do is just straight away, oh, he's running up B. Let's just absolutely go 4-on-1 versus this person on site and give them no chance. And that's exactly what they do, because they know that Vanity doesn't have the time for this. So the reaction is very fast, and in they go. They send out the flash, and there they go. They trade it out, and look at where Vanity is. He doesn't have time for this, right? He thought that perhaps he did, but obviously the guard were well aware of what was going on, and they're able to get the defuse off and win this round. And now let's come to round number 12, and this one was very weird, because C9 had taken A. Leaf had actually ended up in hell, but then because Mitch had just walked up C and realized no one was there, they decided to pivot and go C instead. And so we end up in this position. You can see the guard players are still a bit wary of where Leaf might be, because he literally was in hell. So they're expecting him to maybe still be somewhere on site. So they have to take their time and kind of, you know, make sure he isn't close, which he isn't. But then as we run this forward, we're going to get a full 5v5 retake. So let's watch this 5v5 retake, shall we? So here's what we get. First comes in a flash there. We're going to get the Omen flash across here as well. Vanity on C9 is going to put a one-way smoke up there. We're going to get Sire's smoke and dash in here as well. Then we're about to get breach stuns from both the breaches. You can see Zeta is there, ready to do his breach stun across here. And also we're going to get Jonah P from back here. You can just see he's going to stun down here. So that's all the utility that goes into this just to start, and then we're going to get a weird flurry of kills going off. So it starts out pretty well for the guard. They're able to find Vanity, who got double flashed by both the Sky Flash and the Omen Flash, so he was kind of screwed, and they pick up the first kill. Then Sire actually whiffs on these knives, as you saw there, but Valen's able to come onto the site and trade it out, but he is down to 3 health, is Sire. And then C9 are going to make a big comeback in terms of kills, because Zephyr is about to go pretty wild. He's come round onto the site, as you can see, and he's going to be able to pick off one. This one-way smoke, as well, as you saw there, gets them this kill, so that's 2 kills for them. And then Zephyr's also going to be able to kill Sire, who has an off at this point, obviously not ideal, who's only on 3 health. Then Leaf, very well timed, comes out swinging from garage here, and as you can see, he finds both players looking the wrong way, and so they end up in a 3v1. Neth is able to hit that shot after, you know, running this way, and then just quickly turns and hits that. Very nicely done from him. Then he's able to kill Zeta, and now this won the communication, because he brings out his pistol because he knows that Zephyr is really low. Obviously that got communicated to him, and he begins to think, where might he be? And just the awareness of knowing that he would be in this smoke, and as you can see, he goes down to 2 health as well. So Zephyr hit him with his right click also, but the net is able to get the round win for the guard, and it was just a crazy weird round that Net ended up clutching out there. And so now let's come to the very next round, the pistol round, attacking side now for the guard, and they're going to take a page out of V1's book, and just basically they did this for most of their attacking sides, just group up together and just execute a site. And this time they're going to go to C site on the pistol round. And again, we're going to see that Jett kind of importance here, I think, in terms of what Jett gives you as an agent. Because as we run this forward, and they do just, run it down C there, and poor Vanity is here all alone, what we're going to get is Sire is going to dash in onto the site. But as you can see, Vanity sends out his flash. And obviously on C long, this flash is going to stop you, right? And so as we see here, they did all the normal stuff, the breach stun and all of that. But as you can see, it's going to flash 2 players there, and that's obviously going to slow down anything here coming from the rest of the guard players. So Sire, again, is going to be very isolated all on his lonesome. But this is where Jett comes in, because if this is a raise, again, you're exposed. If there's anyone in this position and you're a raise here in this situation, your team can't help you, you're exposed. You probably will die, because there could be anyone on either side of the site, if Vanity isn't hiding in the smoke here, and you're in trouble. And then Sire's also going to make, I don't know if this is a mistake, but it's a timing failure here from the guard, because as this flash pops, you're going to see that he comes out of his smoke, and he ends up eating the flash fully. So he's completely blind there. But again, this is Jett, and so again, he's given that second option by the fact he has this smoke, and he can just run back in it and be safe. He has no idea if anyone is back here. And again, if he was a raise and ate that flash, he dies. Thankfully, he's playing Jett, and he has this smoke to be able to live. And then that's the thing. Jett is like the agent that just gives you a second chance. Oh, you made a mistake? Don't worry about it. You're playing Jett. You have a dash. You have smokes, right? To get out of any situation. And when you give very good players second chances, they're able to do this. Because Sire is going to eventually come out of that smoke, not be flashed, and find 2 kills. And that is the difference. That Jett is the agent of second chances. And if you give these good players second chances, they will do very well. And eventually the guard here are just going to mow them down on this retake. They never really had a chance at this one in a 5v3 anyway. Sire finds a nice little angle, and they win the round. And so at this point you might be thinking, well, why on earth did they pick this raise? And well, the answer is, I think, for this A main control. Again, it all comes back to this A main control, because obviously if you have a breach in particular, but just in general, sending a nade into this area is obviously going to push people out of that area. And I think that that was their general idea, that we're just going to nade this or send boombots in there, right? And just clear that area out. And obviously in tandem with breach as well, that could be potentially very deadly. And I think that that was the idea that they were going for. But we're going to see it does work, but there's trade-offs to every decision you make there as well, because out comes Leaf. They see that there's people in A main, of course, they flash them, in goes that nade, and now you have to react, right? Net feels like he has to do something as he's reacting to that nade, and so Leaf gets a nice, easy, free kill on him there. But then there's going to be problems, because Leaf is used to playing Jett, and as a Jett, you can get away with what he's doing here. But you can't really as a raise, and we're about to see why, because he's going to try and re-aggress, but as this dog comes in and he shoots it, he's going to try and blast back and hope that that gets them away, and hopefully they don't push. But they do push, and Jonah P is able to get a free kill on him. And this is actually the god's bonus as well. So they have worse guns in this situation, and they kind of just, gave a death for free. They were in a 5v4, and Leaf, as I said, probably used to playing Jett and feeling like he can get out of that situation. But as a raise, it's much harder, particularly when, you don't have any satchels. It's impossible, as you just saw. And then as we run this forward, the guard are going to do a really nice little flash here on the back site, and that catches Zeppa, and he dies for free. And now, well, this is going to be a bit of a bad kind of site execute, a bit not C9's best work in the world, because what we're going to get the stun, and we're going to get the aftershock, and that's all fine. And Mitch is ready to fight, right? The problem is Vanity, that they probably should have waited for Vanity, because he wasn't ready. Those two were ready, but Vanity wasn't, and that's going to cost them, because Vanity hadn't sent out this smoke yet, and you can see how far away he is. What they could have done instead is waited for the smoke first, wait till Vanity is kind of in here, so that then he can send out his flash. So then you stun with the breach once Vanity is here, he flashes one thing, you aftershock another thing, and then there's 2 players here with Mitch, because what ends up happening, as you can kind of see by the map and this area here, is obviously Breach has to be far away to use his utility, to get good use out of it. And Vanity isn't close enough. He could be close, but he's not, because he wasn't ready. And so then Mitch ends up on his own, and he ends up dying. And now the other two kind of have to just go in with less utility than they had before. Vanity also gets stunned there, and eventually they can't win that out. So even though they got close, but they did have better guns, so you know they probably should be winning that round really. But some mistakes there from C9 ultimately cost them, and that is how the Guard managed to get themselves to Iceland. This was C9's map pick as well. And I think overall, you know, C9 kind of got punished a bit for picking that Raze over the Jett, but the Guard also, I think, played very well overall. And I really love some of their defensive little trap plays that they do.